Morning, good afternoon, and good evening for another very special edition of Diary of a Double. This is the year-long journey that Antonio Argüelles is taking to swim from England to France and France back to England, 67 kilometers through rough, cold, glorious water. Welcome, Antonio.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. I'm here in Cuernavaca, Steven, at my mother's house. It's always nice to come to my mother's house because she's going to be 85, and we're preparing we're preparing a party for her.
Okay.
So, you know, we're going to have a meeting today with Lucia, and we're going to discuss the guests. The other day we had we tasted the food, and I'm sitting here in what we call the wall, and this is a wall behind me where you know, if you see this photograph, it's of my parents when they graduated from the National University. And my mother, you know, you can't see that, but my mother was the only woman. She was the 13th veterinarian in Mexico.
Wow.
And my grandfather was also a veterinarian. He's somewhere over there. And but we need to do something, Steven. See, that's why I sit here.
Okay.
Here's my Guinness record.
Yes.
And here are my two brothers' diplomas from the National University. We need to take them away, and then we can put two Guinness records here.
Yes.
So we only see, and my Stanford is here over here on the top. So it's just going to be Antonio's wall from now on. No brothers.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, your swim window begins on July 31st. That's 2 months and a day, or 2 months and 2 days from now. You're starting the fine tuning of your training, you know, some resting, some tapering. Tell us about it.
Well, we came back from a week of recovery, and Rafa says that we're starting our tapering. But this week was going up again, and then I'm going to California up again, and 2 more weeks, and then we're going to start slowly going down. But this week was, you know, the only reason I think we're really in tapering is that I swam really fast. No Suzanne fast, no Queen fast, Antonio fast. But I was able to go, I have to say, with paddles and pool boy, a 550 after on the 5th, 400. So I was very happy, and I feel very strong. Okay. You have that feeling that you're strong, that you can move and that you slide in the water. And today I went to Las Estacas, and I only did 2 hours. And I also, it was really interesting, Steven. You know what happened is we're doing a new 𝐞𝐿. We have to do, as I mentioned the other day, 2 different things when I do 𝐞𝐿. So I do 𝐞𝐿, and I have these little things that go around, you know, like this and like this, in my belly, in my chest, in my head, over here. And so today I was working with it because that gives me a lot of flow. So I'm just very concentrated.
Oh, okay.
And I've gone up and down Las Estacas. I don't know how. I mean, one day I did 12 hours there, and I totally got lost. I was so concentrated in my 𝐞𝐿 and the things that I was doing and doing the flow, suddenly I was lost. I didn't know where I was.
Wow.
And this is a good sign, because the mental toughness that I think the double crossing will require, I need to get in this type of mental stages where everything just goes away and I can focus on my swimming. So I'm very happy today. It's been a great week. I'm happy that I'm going to California again. But this feeling that, you know, we all have experienced when you start tapering, and you know you did all the work, and it pays off. I mean, you feel that you just have the strength.
Yeah, yeah. You remind me, you know, you're coming from the South, you're going up to California, to San Francisco. It reminds me of often when English swimmers, or swimmers in the UK, they're going to do the English Channel, they often go to Lake Windermere and do a lot of training there. It's interesting how it seems people always go up to train somewhere. But you also had a logistical operation meeting today. So your preparation is not only physical, it's not only mental, it's also logistical and operational. Can you explain that?
Yes. We had a good, you mentioned a good teamwork in everything was tuned. But as you can imagine, everybody can think that they have to do the last adjusting the way they want. So, I have so many hours during the day, and I will have only so many hours during the day when we arrive in Dover. So Rafa called for a meeting with everybody involved, and we set up a schedule where during the week they had to tell Rafa how many hours they needed to work with me. So for example, Jaime, my mental coach, he got 2 hours. Ricardo, who is my physical therapist and technique, we're just doing physical therapy now, he gets 1 hour. Ariadna, who is the doctor, wants to have tests when I come back from the 2 San Francisco trips. And so Rafa put everything that on our schedule, because I have to work as well. So I have to really, I have to really know what they want me to do, and I have to start resting more. Quinn, that looks at my Whoop, can see that I haven't been sleeping too much. Fortunately, fortunately, Katsu helps me to recover. And then the other thing is, what are we going to do once we arrive in Dover? And that is very important because we don't want any surprises. So Rafa set up we already know the schedule that we're going to have in Dover. And I have to say something, Steven. With all the news that Dover hasn't improved in the last 12 years in its culinary aptitudes, I told Rafa that I needed to take a day off and go to London. So I know we're gonna eat in London. I'll send pictures. I'm gonna go to a place called Rowley's, and Rowley's is on German Street, and they have the best steak with Béarnaise sauce, and you can get as many French fries. But the top of the meal is the sticky toffee pudding. I mean, you guys, I'll make a video while I'm there. So when I finish my back and forth, that's going to be one of the highlights. So that's going to happen on day 5. On day 5, I already have my excursion to London. I would train in the morning, but that, it's very important. And this is something that you, Suzanne, and Karen might relate, and other people who've been in Dover or in any crossing. The window, it's very tough. I mean, it's you wake up in the morning, you look at the windward, you want to know what's going to happen. And what I found out in my Ocean 7 is that taking a day off, and the first thing is let the team go away. Anybody can do whatever they want. That day we only have one event, which is the workout, and after that everybody can do whatever they want. And I usually just go with Lucia and Jimena, or Lucia if Jimena is not with me, and we go somewhere and we totally forget about the swim. I mean, it's a day off of not thinking about the swim, not thinking about what's going to happen, the weather. Because otherwise, it's too tough. So many days just being concentrated on that.
Yeah. And your swim window begins July 31st. When does it end?
August 7th.
August 7th. Got it.
You know what I didn't realize, I don't think about these things very much, but I finished Ocean 7 on August 3rd.
Got it.
So it's the same window. I had the same window. I didn't realize. You know why I did? I knew that. I found out today because the audiobook in English is already finished.
Yeah.
So I just have to review it this weekend, and we probably in the next couple of weeks. And so today I was listening to the North Channel chapter, And you know what's really interesting, Stephen, and let me share this with you and our audience, is that the North Challenge was a big step for me. It took me to another dimension. Not Ocean 7, the North Channel, because it was so tough mentally for me. The training was so tough. Then that today, when I was listening to it, I realized that some of the things that I fear at the time, that I was concerned at the time, now are more natural to me. And you know, I see Suzanne saying yes, and I'm sure you and Karen and you, Stephen, we all have experienced that, and that is just gaining experience and gaining one more trip. And in every trip, you learn something and you become more relaxed.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah. Well, you look very, very relaxed. You look confident. You're very, I mean, when I saw you, you were strong. You know, I think our friend Linton has a nickname, Sea Bull. Well, I don't know. You must be the Mexican Sea Bull, because
Well, I've put the work where, you know, I have to say that I don't have the six pack that what's our friend in England?
yeah. Oh,
Darren Miller.
yes.
I don't have Darren Miller's six pack, but you don't swim with a six pack. You swim with your arms and your shoulders and your back.
Yeah.
And those are strong. I mean, I have put a lot of work on those, and they're doing well.
Yeah. I have a question. I've always wondered this. I know my own personal feelings. When you're in England or any channel that you've done, and this question is also for anybody who would like to answer, do you like standing on the shore and being able to see France, or would you rather just it be overcast and you know it's still 33.5 kilometers, whether it's clear as can be or cloudy, but do you prefer being able to see on shore where you're going, or just not worry about it?
You know, the first day I arrived in Dover in 1999, the first night we arrived at night, and I told Lucia, I want to go and see if I see France. And it was a beautiful night, and you could see France. In Catalina, I've been able to see the shore on the other side, but I'm not concerned about that. I never, you know, about your question, you know what I see now more, and it's something that I work a lot, you know, my sessions. I see myself in the moments of trouble, because there are going to be moments of trouble, and I need to be prepared for the moments that I will be in trouble, and I need to know how to get out of them. And so that's what I've been working.
Got it.
The second thing is I need to feel different with my mental training. Feel different flow in the water. And for example, today I did that. But what excites me the most is my landing. I live for my landing. I mean, that's what keeps me going more than anything else. Is that is something that I really want. Have that feeling, because I've always thought that I wanted that. I mean, it's something that it's really, maybe it's really crazy, but it's something that I really have wanted. And in Catalina, we wanted to do it 2 years ago, and unfortunately, Renee, her wife, was about to have birth, so it was going to be very difficult for him to live and go with me for a swim when Josune was going to be a mother. So that's what I think. You know, when you're in the pool and your coach tells you you're going to do 10,000 meters, 10,000 meters is pretty specific. I mean, it's something set. 34 kilometers or 67 is something so unmeasurable, you know, for the mind, for my mind, that, you know, I just go half an hour, and the only thing that I know, it's going to be more than 24 hours, and that's what I think about.
Suzanne, do you prefer to see France or see Catalina or any channel? Do you want to see it before the race, before you set off, or would you rather be like Antonio and just?
I think I have similar feelings about that as Antonio. I prefer, you know, I know about how long the swim is going to take sometimes, but no, I'd rather just get in and just go. And sometimes, and I think we've talked about this before, is that when you see where you're going, it always looks closer than it really is. And it takes utmost discipline to not look up and to just keep your head buried and just, you know, count, do whatever you need to do and go with the flow, count your strokes by the thousands, do little math games, whatever you need to do to not look up. So in some ways, I kind of don't like to have it right in front of me. I know that I'm close when I can actually see a person's clothes, and that's it. When I can see a person's clothes, then I know, okay, then we're close. But otherwise, yeah, you just put your head down, get in the flow, get your mind all kind of relaxed. And on some of the better swims, like Antonio says, I don't even know where time went. I don't know where it went. After about 3 hours, the things settle down, and the next 6, 7 hours, I have no idea. Those are the good swims. You know, when you can just let your mind relax and just, I guess, as Antonio says, go with the flow.
Yeah. And then Antonio, when you're swimming and you know you're close to shore, and Suzanne sees the person with Levi's and a t-shirt and a hat on, and your hand touches the ground, what do you, at that moment, what do you think?
Well, usually, how do I get up? Because it's very complicated. I mean, you've been so many hours like that, and then my first thought is I have to be careful, because otherwise, you know, several times I fell down. So how are you going to get up? But you don't have, you know, Stephen, it's not this, at least for me, it's never the ecstasies of, you know, like with like Usain Bolt raising her hands every time he breaks a record or taking the flag. It's just having this feeling that I accomplished what I set to accomplish.
Yeah.
That the job is done, and I'm happy. It's a culmination of many days and many hours of work. So it's not, to me, the easiest part of a channel crossing is the day of the crossing. The worst part comes every single day of all the workouts you have to do and all the things, not complaining and just doing it and getting yourself in the mood that that's what you want to achieve. And I don't know, I think for me at my age and the things, how I see my swimming is, it's probably different that for somebody who's a young guy or a young woman and who's going to the Olympics or want to break a world record. I mean, that's taking them to a globe, you know, different stage. Ours is I see myself as a grandfather doing fun things.
Yeah.
But it also shows your love for the sport. You know, if you can, that you enjoy the training, you enjoy the process, and then you have your incredible accomplishment. That's kind of your like cherry on top of your Ghirardelli sundae.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you feel when you touch the sea floor after so many hours?
For myself?
Yes.
I'm just kind of like, yeah, good. You know, I appreciate, you know, first thing I do is thank everybody that helped me, because as we know, there's nothing solo about our solo swims. There's, you know, it takes a team, that's for sure. And, you know, give them a big wave and hug. And I just kind of say, yeah, job well done. And a sense of accomplishment. But I have to say, Antonio, back to you, when you're doing your little training swims and you get out, I think what I really enjoy is that big old smile that you have, and that your joy. And that is what I really, when I see people get out of, you know, finish their swims and they have this big smile on their face, sense of accomplishment, they're just, the joy of something that they've done under their own auspices, under their own power. And that to me is kind of special. I like watching people happy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Antonio, how many days will you be in San Francisco next week?
I'm arriving on Sunday, and I'll be there until Saturday midday. I'm flying back on Saturday. We have big election day on Sunday, Steven.
Okay.
You know, this election can, I know we don't have to talk about politics, but I just have to say it. This election can change the way Mexico is. The current president, which I dislike totally, and I've been very public about it, is somebody who's taking Mexico 40 years back. I mean, it's a guy who people believe that he was coming from the left. You know, that's how he sold himself. And you know, if he wins, Mexico can be in the way to be Venezuela. I mean, that maybe sounds very tragic, but we've seen things like meddling with the Supreme Court, trying to change the Constitution, you know, meddling in the elections, which in Mexico is prohibited when you're the president. It's not like in the States that you can campaign for your candidates from government. And so all the things that Mexico fought in both areas, in their political openness, and there was a left that really pushed the changes that Mexico went through, and that are very, you know, we all applauded, and I was very happy with them. And all the economic changes that we did, that I was part of that can be in danger. So I'm coming back on Saturday, vote really early in the morning. I like to vote really early. I like to be the first one on, you know, I arrive really early. I mean, yeah, I really want to be, I want to have that over, and then the rest of the day call people and ask them if you have voted, and you know, if you believe in those things, you have to work that day. So I want to have voting over and then work the phone.
Okay. Okay.
Is there something, Antonio, is there something about you like being the first of something?
It feels nice. It feels nice.
And then what is going to be your hardest workout up in the Bay Area?
Friday, we're going to go for 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Miguel Melendez, who, you know, we in the community know, he's going to be he's usually my kayaker when I'm in San Francisco. Yeah, Miguel is going to kayak for me. And we're gonna go 3.5 hours. Apparently that day the flow, you know, the tides are good on that day.
Okay.
But every day I will do 2 hours in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. Okay. So I'll be swimming 3 hours a day. All right. So Quinn, you'll see my whoop go up to 20.
Wow, your strain is gonna hit 20?
Yep.
That's high, Antonio. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 20 every single day.
Oh my God. I don't think I've gotten over 15.
Queen!
So Antonio, you'll be happy to know the water is warmed up. There's still cold, chilly spots, not as warm spots, but I think we're up to about 50. Well, I think this morning was an ebb, so it's probably around 54 to 56, 57.
Yeah, I've been looking at it, and it's around 14 degrees Celsius, between 13.5 and 14. And that's warm from the last time. You know, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, Steven. When you think 14 degrees is, now that's comfortable. I mean, now we can go enjoy, you know, no big problem.
The cove is cold. The cove is chillier by about 2 degrees, so stay out of the cove.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Well, enjoy. And it'll be fun to hear your report next week from, well, you'll be down in Mexico City again. Oh, wait a second. Next week, where will you be calling in from?
At the airport.
At the airport, okay.
It's going to be an airport call.
Got
it. I'm going to be on California time. And yes, I'll be at the airport.
Okay.
To be able to take the call. Hopefully, the airport will have some restaurants open.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
No, well, so many hours to stay there. And you know, I need, you know, whenever I call Suzanne, I need to have my my tequila. You just can go there without calling it. You know, this is a tradition. I mean, we cannot do that without tequila.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mm.